is Dan Tortora here at practice for the Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse Bobcats men's soccer team here in the 2024-25 season. And as you know, we have the exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. I am honored and privileged that it is soccer season again, and this is the Bobcat Buzz. We're here with the head coach and the athletics director at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, Nick Dimitrievski, and we have some new faces here for the Bobcat Buzz. I'm going to have them introduce themselves, so we'll start here.
My name is Jono. I'm from England, America, and Bulgaria. I play center back, and I'm happy to be here.
My name is Jhonny. I'm a senior. I'm from Boston, originally from Haiti, and I play center back. I'm happy to be here.
My name is Costa. I'm from Brazil, and I'm a goalkeeper, and it's a great opportunity to be here today.
And of course we have Coach. So Jono, I'm going to start with you. Just what you can say about why you chose Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, why be a part of this program?
I feel like it's a great opportunity for a lot of kids that don't really have a way out of where they are. Like myself, I was in Bulgaria. It's not really somewhere that you can, start a good career straight off the bat. So, pleasure to meet Coach and, give me a great opportunity, a great stepping stone into a future of soccer.
Coach, how did you find Jonathan?
Well, first of all, these three are among the best in all of the USCAA, so we're really privileged to have them.
Yeah.
Through context, and he has just really stepped up to be our captain, and those two are our two center backs. Look at them, 6'6", and you can't beat them or they're going to destroy you, so I'm just so happy. I mean, they are my right-hand man, and they just, a team just goes so smoothly. Excited for them to have me.
Jhonny, we connected, I think, through social media way back, and now we can stand next to each other and tell the story. How did you end up at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse? Why was this the right fit for you?
I mean, actually, just because I was playing for community college, and we played against Bryant Stratton, and I will never forget that game because we lost the last minute. And I got contacted by the coach. It was really a good opportunity. I chose to do it.
Awesome, I love that. So, and Antonio, for you, being a goalkeeper, being in the box, why Bryant Stratton? Why guard this team? Why guard the Bobcats?
So, first of all, also it's a great responsibility to defend this team because we are three-time USCAA championship champions. So it's a huge responsibility for me. But at the same time, I like the pressure, I like the environment, and then I believe it also in the project of the coach when he contacted me, and also the teammates here help a lot for the environment to be good and in harmony, and we just expect the best for this season and hopefully the national team.
I asked you about finding Jhonny. I talked about it a little bit here, going up against and knowing what it was like to see this team, and then Antonio. What was it about these two gentlemen that made you feel like they would be assets to the team as well?
Well, Jhonny, playing prior to the game, he was all fine. Who the heck is this guy? And man, he was so hard, so fast. It was just so difficult to get past. And me and that coach have an outstanding relationship for the past 20-something years, and it just worked out. I mean, he just is there's people on there, professor, and he got his associate's degree last year as a commencement speaker, so he is really he's done a good job. Antonio, through one of the top amateur contacts that I have in the country, teams, they connected me with Antonio, and Antonio won the starting job last year and was first team all-American goalkeeper. And he has just grown second year. My God, you couldn't ask for anything better than three guys to help you lead a project.
We know what it's like for this team to win a national championship. We talk about having 3 national championships in the USCAA. Antonio, what is it about this squad this season that makes you believe you could compete for another one?
So we have a lot of experienced players that also help to the group. So everyone has its own experience, and then it also brings together. So we always try to get everyone's ideas, to get with the coach's ideas, and then hopefully they can get our ideas as well. And then we just have one objective, which is with the national championship, and everyone is completely into that.
Jhonny, not only only soccer but a commencement speaker.
Right.
So just what you could say about that the leadership that comes from that, the honor that comes from that. Not everybody gets to have speeches like that. So where does that all come from inside of you to not just be the soccer player that you are, but to try and lead and help other people to maybe hear a message that can help them?
I mean, it's something that I enjoy doing. It's like I'm really open to learn, open to grow, and being under my coach, learning from my leadership. You know, I make a couple mistakes, I get corrected. I'm always open to learn new stuff. You know, it's gonna happen. Like you're gonna mess up. How can you adapt to what you mess up? It was a good opportunity for me to be a student, and I'm always open to learn.
Was there anything in your message that you feel like kind of stuck with you when you stood up there as a commencement speaker? Was there something you wanted people to really remember?
Yeah, there was something that I said. It was like, whatever that you're doing in life, you're gonna face obstacles, so don't give up.
I love that. True, and adversity makes you who you are.
Yeah.
Jono, for you, this team, this season, what has been your favorite, when you look at the guys that are here in practice, when you kind of just take a look on the field, what do you think about? What are some of those first things that come to mind for you? What you're most excited about with this team?
First of all, I want to say from past experiences, like Antonio said, you know, I think we have a great structure and a great strength to this team. And another thing is discipline. I believe, you know, the guys that were here last year learned what coach has put us under, you know, like discipline and learning how to play his game. So I think if we, you know, wire that into the new guys, we're going to have a great season and, you know, a great chance of winning the championship.
You have a tattoo right here.
Yeah.
Bring me into, what does that say?
It just says family, I'll be honest. I just got up one day and I said, alright, let me get a tattoo that says family in Chinese on my neck.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. That's the story.
You're like, let me get it, and you knew you wanted it in Chinese?
I knew I wanted it in Chinese.
Okay.
No Japanese, nothing else, just Chinese.
Okay.
Well, you know, Dan, Jono's slogan, motto, trust the process.
Right here. Right here.
And it's obvious.
Yeah. So you got another one.
Yeah.
Are those the two that you have? You got more?
No, I got one on my leg, one here on my ribs, and a couple on my wrist.
A couple on your wrist. Do you have any?
No.
None?
No.
None. So he's got enough for all three of you guys.
Yeah.
Are you guys thinking about getting a tattoo? You'll see. What about you? No? Okay. If there's a championship here in 2024, is there maybe a tattoo that should be gotten for that?
I'll get another one that says trust the process on my leg.
Trust the process? Coach, can we get you to get a tattoo? Absolutely. All right.
You're right next to me.
I was going to say, what I think should happen is there's a movie with the Change Up when they switch bodies, and Jason Bateman switched bodies with Ryan Reynolds, and they asked him if he wanted to get a tattoo, and when he was in his buddy's body, when they had switched souls, they were like, are you sure this is what you want to do? He's like, I've never been more sure about anything in my life. And you didn't know until the end of the movie. And he got the face of his buddy on his back. So when he switched, it was him. So I think Nick and I think we should do that. We should put my face right back here. But so before we get into some rapid fire and have some fun with outside of the world of soccer, I want to know how you fell in love with the sport. Antonio, I'm going to start with you. Do you remember that like moment in your life where you thought, wow, it's a really cool sport and I want to be a part of it?
So in Brazil, since I was like, I think as a new as a person, I play soccer. So of my whole life, goalkeeper. When I was a child, I was very small, more than I am for a goalkeeper. But you know, my aunt always said, "Hey, go to another position, try striker, try left back." But my passion was always being a goalkeeper, and that's what I'm gonna do for my whole life.
So your passion was always to be a goalkeeper no matter what anybody said?
No matter what anybody said.
Do you believe that when they talk about, the height and this and that and whatnot, do you believe that you've gotten that to go away? Have you answered that, in your opinion, with the things you can control? Your athleticism, your work, your just technical ability, your knowledge, your wisdom. Have you grown into the goalkeeper that you can be proud of?
Exactly. So as a goalkeeper, I'm not that tall, but I compensate in other areas. So technically, explosiveness, power. So there is always something else you can do to compensate in the area that you don't have.
You know, if I could just add something. We're going on 27 years. There's been big players, Syracuse, 6'4", and I was like, oh, come on. But boy, has he compensated me here. So we played last year. You know, I look at this team as the redemption team. I think there's a movie about USA basketball in the Olympics where they lost, and that next team was like the redemption team that with the pro players that won. There's a movie about it. We lost last year. 4 or 5 guys starters that out for the season because of ACL here. But with Antonio here at the national championships, he stopped happening, and that was just all hard. You know, you don't need to be 6 foot 4. You need to have that grit inside, that passion. If you just listen to it, it's just so contagious. It's good to get this thing. We're just blessed to have it.
Is there anything that anybody does ever in Brazil besides play soccer?
So if you go to every beach, there will be a ball, and I swear, everyone playing there. So
everyone.
Everywhere.
I was going to say, when you said you've been playing as long as you can remember, so Jhonny, for you, when you look at your first memory of soccer, can you go back to that moment?
Right, so since I was a kid, around 6 or 7 years old, it's something I always wanted to do because I grew up kind of seeing my old cousins playing soccer, and then when you go to watch them, you see the environment, how people enjoy the sport. Now I told my mom, like, this is something I always wanted to do. It was kind of difficult, and I remember one day I escaped the house, and I went to play like 4 or 5 hours away. And when I came back, she said, I'm going to kick you out. And she didn't kick me out, and this is something that reminded me when I did my speech, and I told my mom that's what I wanted to do after the speech.
What made you leave and go 5 hours away to play soccer? What was it?
Just because she didn't want me to play, and like even if I asked people to come and talk to my mom, she wouldn't let me. And I said, okay, this is sometimes you have to make a decision. I know like the decision that I'm gonna make, you're not gonna be happy about it, but I'm just gonna take the risk. So I took the risk, and today this is what he's taking.
Is she happy with you now?
Yeah.
Is she okay now?
Definitely.
All right, good. Jono, what's your first memory?
I started playing because I had asthma. So my mom was saying, you know, I want you to play some sport, you know, try and like get rid of it, and ended up getting rid of it. So, but throughout that process, I fell in love with the sport. I grew up playing in England, so you know that's a big passion over there. And honestly, I don't regret anything. I would not change this sport for anything else in the world. So, I mean, I guess that's why it's one of the most populated sports in the world. And again, I wouldn't change it for anything.
I'm going to bring us all back in here, make sure everyone can see us. I believe they can, but we're going to get into rapid fire in a second. Coach, I want to go to you on this. You made the decision to have Jono, Jhonny, and Antonio speak here going into the 2024-25 season. Why did you choose these gentlemen to represent the team here for Bobcat Ball?
No, I just think that they're leaders. And so far, they have an opportunity here to really do some special things. Pretty talented. We still got a couple guys that are joining us here. Pretty talented. So I'm excited for the year, and I think they're very excited. So they've been working hard this past week. So I'm excited.
Before we get into rapid fire, I want to hear something good about Coach. John, I'm going to go to you. First word that you think of when you think of Coach.
Crazy. Crazy.
Elaborate.
I want to say like he has very, very good drills during the sessions. It can seem a bit crazy at times to all the new guys that come, especially for me last year. I felt like I was in a completely new environment.
Yeah.
And crazy, but still really good. Yeah.
I love that. Interesting word there. Jhonny, what about you?
I think my words would be like awareness, being aware of what's going to happen next. Because my coach always makes sure he knows what's going to happen and get us ready.
So he's gotten the awareness. He can see down the line.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. Antonio, a word to describe Coach?
I would say opportunity. He's a coach that gives opportunity to everybody, so it depends on you if you're going to grab it or let it go through.
I like that. Opportunity, crazy, and awareness. Coach, give me a word for each of these guys individually. Start with Antonio.
Antonio, delightful. It's just a sheer delight to him. He's so skillful as a goalkeeper, you know, just a really good, it's just delightful. Jono, I've grown to have a really special relationship with. And, you know, this happens with all new kids, all come from different environments, what they're used to. We try to get them on the same page.
Yeah.
You know, and change is difficult. Once they do, those guys trust the process. Do a job. Tremendous player, tremendous human. He's got the ear of the team, and I'm just excited for these three proving to lead it. I think they're experiencing really a lot of success.
All right, well, I'm gonna repurpose us again and bring us in here, rapid fire, so we can ask each other anything in the world, and none of this is planned. So, Jono, you get to ask me the first question.
Let's go. Favorite bird?
Never been asked that before. Favorite bird? Probably.
Don't say seagull. That's the worst kind of bird.
No, I'd probably say a blue jay.
Yeah.
Just because I think they're really cool. They look fake because they're just so colorful. So I'm gonna say a blue jay. And I grew up before I became a Diamondback fan. Before they existed, I was a Toronto Blue Jay fan. So I'm gonna go with Blue Jays. All right, my question back to you, Jono.
You can ask me favorite bird. I know it's
I'm not gonna ask you favorite bird. I'm gonna ask you favorite memory as a kid.
a lot of memories for me. I'd probably say, just to keep it related to soccer, when my dad put the ball into me. He gave that ball to me, and honestly, I still have a picture of it. I still kind of vaguely remember it. What a great moment it was to kind of be introduced to the sport like that.
Awesome. What's your dad's first name?
Ivan.
Ivan?
Ivan, yeah.
So shout out to Ivan for doing that, or we wouldn't be here with you right now, right?
Right.
Antonio, what's your question for me?
What's your favorite sneakers?
Pair of sneakers. I usually buy Nike, but I'm a colorful guy. Like, these are my Jaguar sneakers, but I just like color. I have ones that look like the Flash, the red and yellow, and then I have orange ones. I have my Bryant Stratton ones, which are green and blue. So, and I usually wear those a lot. So I try to color code. So like if I'm coming to a Bryant Stratton game, I'm wearing those sneakers, and if I have other ones on, I have to switch them in the car or switch them at home and then come out. So yeah, I guess I would say Nike, but it just depends on what I like, just what it looks like at the time. Antonio, my question back to you. Okay, here we go. Is there any nation in the world that has more beautiful women than Brazil?
Bulgaria.
I'll say Spain. My girlfriend's from Spain, so
You're gonna stay out of trouble. Yeah, that's a good thing right there. No, Spain. Well, I have family in Spain, so I was gonna say Spain. Spain seems to be close, but I worked with a lot of people from Brazil down in Disney at Epcot, and I was like, I don't know what's in the water in Spain, but in Brazil, but they're beautiful. All right, Jhonny, what's your question for me?
Do you have a tattoo?
I do not. I thought about it. So there's a couple I was going to do. So St. Daniel, he had the story about the lion's den. So I was thinking that there's actually one that I thought about putting on my left arm. And it's a lion looking up at God, and Daniel's next to the lion. And the lion's mane, a piece of the mane comes off onto Daniel's head. So they're like connected with each other. And I would, on that, probably put my grandmother, put G-Mama there, and Daniel 10:21, which is the Bible verse, and it's my birthday. I put Daniel 10:21, and the girl that was working on everything with me at this, we were trying to get people in, so we had like an activities fair, and she came over with the Bible open, and she set it down, and I said, what is this for? She goes, you'll figure it out. And I was like, well, what do you mean? I looked down and I was like, oh, because it's Daniel? She goes, you'll figure it out. So I look at it, and it was open to Daniel chapter 10, and I was looking through it, and there's a verse 21, and it's the last verse of chapter 10. And it says, but let it be known in the book of truth, no one will stand for me except Michael, your prince, and my middle name is Michael. So in the Bible, under Daniel, with my birthday, that Bible verse has my middle name. So I thought that was cool, so I'd probably put that on there too. I think about it, but I don't know. Sometimes I want to, sometimes I don't. We'll see. Jhonny, my question to you is, if one of your teammates was in charge of getting you a tattoo and you had to get it, they chose for you, what teammate would you trust the most to pick a tattoo for you? Well, who's the teammate that you think would actually come up with something good that you wouldn't have to worry about?
I think I would pick Angelo because I kind of know Angelo back in the day.
Okay.
We played for the same team back in the day. We work at the same job.
Okay.
So I kind of trust him, and then I would trust him to get me a tattoo without worry.
What do you think he would put on you if you had to pick something? What do you think he would? What tattoo would he pick?
Determination.
Determination?
Yeah.
All right, like the coach said, I like it. All right, Jono, what's your question?
You
can ask me another one.
Another one?
Yeah, we go one more round, and then Coach and I go back and forth.
I know you do a lot of interviews for different sports. So what's your favorite sport?
I'm not saying this politically. I don't think I have one. I mean, I played basketball my whole life, and I still play it to shut my brain off. Well, for a lot of reasons. I just love basketball. But the one time that I coached, was a head coach, was U12 soccer. And my goal was to be with those kids all the way through. I ended up coming back to Syracuse and working at ESPN Radio at the time. But I miss those kids to this day, the Carbondale YMCA pride. And so I don't know if I can pick a favorite, but I do get an itch every time I'm on the pitch. Something inside, like I start looking at it in my head. I want to start scheming. I want to ask questions. I'm probably going to be doing stuff in my head when I'm watching practice here today. So I can say, and I was saying to Coach right before, I was like, I love soccer season because I fell in love with the game around like 21, 22. I didn't grow up around it, but I actually dated someone who played, she played on the women's team at my alma mater, and she was an outside mid, and I was around her and her family, and just being around their passion, I was like, you know, I'll listen, just kind of see what they say, and ever since then I fell in love with it. So I can't necessarily pick a favorite, but my heart, there's a piece of my heart that lies in soccer. I will say that. All right, John, my question back to you. If you had to live on one food for the rest of your life, what food would you eat every day and never get sick of?
Moussaka. It's a Bulgarian dish.
Okay.
It's potatoes, beef, eggs and cheese layered on the top.
Okay.
With some spices and stuff like that. So if I would choose a food, that would be it.
Okay, I like it. Antonio?
It's still my question, I swear. Can I have this question to answer you?
Yeah.
But
I'm going to bring us back in again. I want to make sure we're down here. We're good. All right.
Come on. What is one place would you like to visit, like one day?
Italy and Spain. I want to go see my family. Yeah, without doubt. My question back to you, Antonio. What movie or TV world would you want to live in, and why?
One move that I like, one of my favorites is Squid. It's like a Adonis, but like a fighter, so like a UFC fighter. So he has a background, and he overcomes a lot of situations in his life. Yeah. So it's a very good move.
Choose to be in that one. All right.
Do you have any favorite books?
I would say the one that's by my bedside, the Bible. But I'm reading, I need to finish reading Billy Crystal's book, Still Fooling 'Em. And I feel like Billy and I have a lot of similarities in his love for entertainment and sports and trying to bring them together. When I read his book, I feel like, I just read it like, I feel like we would understand each other. I feel like we could probably sit and talk for hours about certain things, so I'd say that. All right, Jhonny, my question back to you. Okay, so you have done a speech before. If someone was going to narrate your life, who would you choose? If someone was going to tell your story to a bunch of people, who would you want to tell your life?
I mean, I've been here for a couple years. I think like there's nobody that know me better than Coach Nick.
Okay. Choose him to narrate your life. He's your Morgan Freeman. I like that. Okay. I like that. So, Coach, I saved the best for last. You and I have done this before, but we get to put each other on the hot seat. What do you have for me?
It does Dan in 10 years.
Hopefully married, hopefully kids. That was the dream before any other dream. So, hopefully that. but I would say screenwriting, comedy, music, they're all still there for me. I love them deeply. Started singing before I started doing anything. Wrote music when I was like 10, 14 years old. And then making people laugh my whole life. I love doing that. And screenwriting is something that I got an idea, and when I get these ideas, I honestly believe that there's nothing I can't do. And when I have an idea, I feel like if I follow it through, it's going to happen. So there's some things that I got to get working on in that respect. So, and I trust God. God's going to guide me where He wants me.
Amen.
Nick. Okay, I'm going to kind of take your question but flip it. You and I have gotten to know each other over the last 3+ years. What do you hope to see in my life in 10 years? Having had some fireside chats together. What do you hope for me?
I'd love to see this go into entities like us, small schools, so it's really nice to see.
My question, okay, you got one more for me. Yes, sir.
What position, if we was to put you in a game, would you play for us in a charity game?
Oh man, I would want to play goalkeeper because I too want to prove that it doesn't matter how tall you are. So, but I would probably say, oh man, probably forward, or I'd want to play mid because I'd want to challenge myself to run. I didn't like running growing up as a kid. I didn't like it at all. And now cardio is very important to me. And having dated Mandy and outside Meg, I told her, I was like, first 5 minutes of the game, I was like, how many miles did you just run? Like it was crazy. So I'd want to challenge myself there. But I'd want to be in scoring position. I want the opportunity. To be completely honest, if I was in a charity game, I'd want at least one corner kick that I can deliver. And I want at least one corner kick that I can try and head, because they've tried to teach me how to do a header, and I don't care what anybody says. They say after a while it stops hurting, and I think that's just if like you kind of have a concussion, it stops hurting. But I feel like it always they say there's a way to hit it right. Is there a way to hit it right? Is there a place in your head to hit it right? I feel like it hurts no matter what, but I'd like the opportunity to do it. I would like the opportunity for a corner kick to deliver and to hit with my head. So I'd say that.
So if you like to run,
all right, Nick. Let's see here. What does your future, since you gave me this, what do you envision for yourself in your future to look like on the pitch and off the pitch? What would be the things that you really hope for?
Living a dream. You're coaching soccer, played it, and I'm sharing those best practices with these guys. So I got my little guy that's involved in this, and he's amongst the best, and these guys embrace him, so we got everything right there. So I love to see my guys continue, little guy, these guys to continue and win some more championships.
Well, for Coach Nick, as well as Antonio, for Johnny and Jono here, myself, Dan Tortora, here with the Bobcat Buzz, Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. You already know this, but I'm going to tell you anyways. Come and see the men's and women's team on the pitch here in 2024-25. You know men's and women's basketball comes up after that, baseball, esports, all of the things at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. And these student athletes, on camera and off camera, I know they appreciate you. Their stories are incredible. They're awesome people to know, and if I could say anything about you as a coach and about all the coaches at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, you find some of the best men and women that I've had the opportunity to talk with because they're good people. So you can feel that positive energy, and these are the ones you root for. So we got to get to practice. We'll talk with you all soon. Be well. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, Coach. As always, appreciate it. Sure. Thank you.